We want to get more perspective on this with Judith Browne Dianis. She's an executive director with the Advance Project National Office. Judith, thank you so much for joining us. I want to
Sure.
begin with comments from a member of the Trump administration. U.S. National Security Advisor Robert OBrien denies there being systemic racism in policing. He says there are some bad apples. Do you agree, or do you see a broader problem with the system?
Yes, this is much broader than bad apples. If we had bad apples, we would just see it happening once in a while. But this is a systemic kind of down to the root. It's not just the apples, but it's all the way down to the root of the tree. There are policies in place that police departments follow, but also the culture of policing that allows for this. We're seeing it on the streets now, right? This aggression. There are people who are being attacked by the police during these protests who are in peaceful protests, and the police are just grabbing them, dragging them. We saw the videos of two young people in a car in Atlanta yesterday. So this is culture and policies and practices. It's long rooted. It is really built upon the actual, like the purpose of police. And the way that Black people in America experience the police is that white people see protect and serve. Black people see law and order. And so this is a moment where we have got to change the whole system of policing in this country.
The videos of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd emerged in quick succession. How have those visuals fueled this unrest, and how have they impacted you personally?
So, we haven't been here before. We haven't been here. We have been here before several times. We have seen the killing of Black people. We've seen it on video. If you may remember, in Minnesota, Philando Castile was killed, and it was live on Facebook. And so now we have another. And the problem is that there are so many empty promises of change. And so people are fed up. Personally, as someone who's been practicing civil rights law, as someone who did some work in Ferguson, in Baltimore, after Freddie Gray was killed, I'm just tired of it. Black people need to see that there is going to be sweeping change, that the system is going to be very different. And then layer on top of this a pandemic, right, where people are already suffering. So there's just too much pain in our community for us to stand by and just let it happen and wait for the empty promises again.
Right, it's like suffering on top of suffering. You can only handle so much.
Right.
Another killing that hasn't gotten the same level of attention is the death of Breonna Taylor. There's no video of her killing. Do you think the lack of footage has something to do with the amount of attention her death has or hasn't gotten?
Yes, I definitely think Breonna Taylor's killing has not gotten enough attention. There is one is because there's no video. Two is because the police have been covering this up as if they actually had a right to go into that apartment. For people to know, they entered into that apartment late at night with what is called a no-knock warrant. It means that the cops just come in, they ram down the door, they come in with a SWAT team, and they come with guns a-blazing. And so Breonna was in bed that night. And so the problem is that we're not getting enough attention to that because the police are covering it up by their policies, and their policies are a problem. And so we do need to shine light on that one. No officers have been arrested. This kind of shows how this culture works. So they kill someone, they actually arrested her boyfriend. She is dead. No one has been charged. There's no arrests. And in fact, those officers are on paid administrative leave. And that's because the police unions cover up for them so that they are getting represented. And it's like, we'll just wait and see. And so we've got to be looking for justice for her too. But I just want to say that let's keep putting this in context. Breonna and George, put in context. Justice does not just mean arresting and prosecuting the officers involved. It means a wholesale change of the criminal justice system that starts with police and ends with the prisons.
Judith Browne Dianis with the Advancement Project. Thank you so much, Judith. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me.